Hey, it's Mel. Did you miss me? I missed you. So today I'm super pumped. And the reason why I'm super pumped is because I have never shared this training that you're about to watch with anybody. We shot it in one of my favorite places in the world, up in southern Vermont, and it's about the number one topic that we receive questions from around the world. And that is, how do you find and live with greater passion? How do you find your passion? How do you live with it? Well, this training isn't the normal training on passion that you may have watched. This is going to educate you about passion. We're going to be talking about the 3 myths of passion and the 3 truths about passion. And when you understand the truth about passion, you will now have the secret to not only finding it, but living with more of it. Let's go to southern Vermont. So I decided to do this free training because passion is the number one topic that I receive emails, social media posts, and inquiries about every single day from people just like you around the world. And passion is also a topic that I believe most of us really misunderstand. I know that I, for a very long time, wanted more passion in my life, but I was going about it the entirely wrong way. And it wasn't until I learned what I'm about to teach you in this live training that everything started to turn around. Everything that we're going to cover today, including the 3 mistakes that we all make when we are thinking about and looking for more passion in our life. Also, I'm going to give you a free tool that you can use immediately that will work to help you discover the passion that's inside you, that will leverage the unique inner wisdom that's inside you, and that will work the very first time that you use it. How can I say that? Because it's working for hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and you're going to learn it today. And finally, we're going to talk about confidence and the connection between passion and confidence. And at the very end, I'm going to answer a few questions that have been submitted by people that registered for this seminar and questions that we've been receiving across social media and to our email, hello@melrobbins.com. And I think that by answering these questions from people just like you, you're going to see how the topics that we're going to cover in this seminar apply in real life situations. But first, I want you to think about, what would it feel like if you woke up every morning and you felt energized and excited about the day ahead of you? It'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? And what's interesting is if you wake up right now and you feel kind of, or you feel tired, or you feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. That's how I felt 8 years ago when things in my life were not passionate at all. In fact, things were very broken. And I would wake up every morning and I was overwhelmed by the day ahead of me. And I felt like I had so many problems. And if you don't know my story, I mean, a lot of people look at me right now and they say, wow, she's the most booked woman in the world in terms of speaking. And holy cow, she's a best-selling author. And she has this company and her marriage seems to be pretty great. Well, let me tell you something. It wasn't always that way. And I used to wake up every morning and feel a sense of dread about what my life looked like. And I didn't know back then the things that I'm about to teach you. And so if you're somebody that, like me, is waking up and you feel overwhelmed or you feel that something's missing or you wish that you had more energy, more enthusiasm for your life, I am so happy that you're here. Because everything that we're going to talk about has worked for me, has worked for thousands of people around the world, and it's going to work for you when you take these concepts and you take these strategies and you apply them to your life. So let's get started. And how we're going to get started is we're going to talk about the 3 mistakes that everybody makes when they think about passion and how to change those mistakes and turn it around to work for you. Now, I want you to think about an area of your life where you wish there was more passion. Maybe it's your career. You wish that you were doing something that made you feel more passionate. Maybe you're in a relationship that makes you feel depleted, or you're not in a relationship at all. Maybe just the day-to-day of your life is dragging you down and you wish that you were the kind of person that would wake up and just feel more passionate. I want you to think about that area of your life where you really want more passionate. And if you've got your notes there, write it down. Write it down right now. I wish that I had more passion in my career, my marriage, my body. Just write it down. This is for you, okay? Because as I move forward and I explain the 3 mistakes that I used to make, that I guarantee you're probably making, you're going to start to see changes that you can do immediately that will impact the level of passion that you feel in the area that you just wrote down. So let me get my notes because I want to make sure I get this right for you, okay? The 3 mistakes. First of all, the number 1 mistake that we make about passion is that we look for it in the wrong place. I guarantee you, if you're like me, that you're looking outside yourself, that you have made an assumption that in order to have a more passionate life, you got to find a different job. You got to have a different relationship. You got to change something drastic, that there is a person, a place, or a thing that will help you be more passionate. And see, that's a mistake. Because fact number 1 about passion is that passion is not a person, place, or a thing. Passion is not outside of you. Passion is a state of being. So let me say that again. Passion is not a person, a place, or a thing. Passion is a state of being. It's inside of you. And so mistake number 1 is to think that there is a singular job or a singular person or a singular hobby or a singular, place that you could move to that would somehow bring passion to your life. And the fact that I want you to embrace is that actually, and this is good news, that passion is in here. Passion is a state. So from this point forward, I want you to completely change your definition of passion for me, okay? And write this down. The definition of passion, got it? Passion is energy. That's all that it is. Passion is not a person, place, or a thing. Passion is the energy that you feel when you are expanding, when you're awake, when you are, energized by your life. And so whenever we use the word passion, and when you use the word passion, and when you think about passion, I want you to think about energy. And, if you stop for a second and you think about why you wanted to take this seminar in the first place and why you want more passion in your life, it is because of energy, isn't it? It's because your current job depletes you. It's because the issues in your life overwhelm you. The business that you're running feels hard. It weighs you down. And so when you say passion, what you're actually saying is not that you need to change your business, not that you need to change your marriage, not that you need to change your job. You're actually saying you are seeking the kind of life where as you're going through your life, you're filled with energy. You're energized by it. You're excited about it. So that's mistake number 1. Passion is not a person, place, or thing. Do not look for it outside of yourself. Passion is internal. It's the energy that's in you. The second mistake that we make about passion is we ask the wrong questions. So when you are thinking about passion in your life, I guarantee you probably are falling into the same mistake and trap that I fell into that actually robs you of your passion. You sit there at your desk or you write in your journal and you ask yourself the wrong question. Here's the wrong question that we're all asking. What am I passionate about? Now, why is that the wrong question? The reason why that's the wrong question, what am I passionate about, is because it directs you to find an answer that's outside of you. I want you to ask yourself a totally different question. And this will change everything. The question I want you to ask yourself when you think about passion is this, and write this one down. When do I feel passionate? And let's tweak the question a little bit, okay? Let's tweak the question based on the definition of passion. When do I feel energized? Because remember, passion is just energy. Now, what's amazing about this question, and look, all we did was we substituted basically one word. Instead of asking yourself, what are you passionate about, which makes you look at the world around you, I'm asking you to go in and consider when have you felt passionate, which makes you look for an answer inside you. It makes you tap your inner wisdom. It makes you think about the relationships that you're in. It makes you think about the things that you do. And it centers you on the definition of passion, which is feeling energized. So if you ask yourself the question right now, when do I feel energized? Which is the same thing as asking, when do I feel passionate? You can make a whole list of people that when you hang out with them, you feel energized. You can take your current job and you can find things in your current job that energizes you. And that is a really powerful distinction. Now, the third mistake that I used to make, that everybody seems to make, is that we say that we need to find our passion. And when you use the word find or discover, it kind of implies that passion is a fleeting thing, that it's one of those eureka moments, that it's this thing that happens outside of you, that you're going to discover it at some point, and when you discover it, it hits you. And the thing that's scary about that definition is that if you anchor passion on a thing, things disappear. And when you anchor passion on finding it, you're always going to be looking for it. The truth about passion is that it's something that you create. And that's a really empowering place to stand around it, because that means that you're fully in control. Now, when you think about passion as something that you create, it means that you've got the power at any single moment to do a few simple things to give yourself the experience of being more energized. So let me recap for just a minute. So we covered the three mistakes, right? Thinking that passion is a person, place, or thing. Thinking, let me look at my notes again, asking yourself the wrong questions about, what am I passionate about? And finally, thinking that you got to find it and assuming that it's this fleeting thing that is attached to you finding something. So what are the truths about passion that you've now learned that I want you to put into action? Number one, passion is energy. Passion is a state of being inside of you. Number two, ask yourself the right question, which is, when do I feel energized? That's how you start to locate the passion, and you start to identify the things that you can be doing more of, namely the things that energize you, and you also identify the things that deplete you, that you do less of, and that's how you start to feel more energized. And third, and finally, passion is something you create. It's not something you find. It's not something you discover. It is a thing, a state of being that you can create at any moment, at any time, and I'm going to show you how. This is a great time to address a question. So we've just covered the three mistakes that people make and actually flip them into the three truths about passion. And this question comes from Krista. It's a question about passion and career. This question, while she's the one that wrote it, we get this question probably more than just about anything else. She writes, Mel, I'm struggling to determine what I want to do business career-wise. Can you cover this in the seminar? I'm struggling, and I have been for a while. It's been 4 years since I was laid off from a 15-year-old role in a corporate job with a lot of upward mobility. I tried other corporate jobs. I tried marketing strategy and being a consultant, but something's missing. I had several bad experiences with both. I've worked with a career transition coach. I've attended endless webinars, online courses, even with Brendon Burchard. Brendan's a really good friend of mine. I'm sure the course was awesome. And I've read tons of books. I enjoy consulting, but self-esteem is very low and tough clients are soul-beating and anxiety stops me from soliciting more work. I can't figure out what my business idea or passion is. How can I pinpoint the one job that I am meant to do? I know I love people and I've had multiple jobs working with people and giving back, but I don't feel certain about what I'm supposed to do. Can you hear the frustration in there? I certainly can. And I know that you might even be able to relate to it, that you're looking for that one thing. Now, let's look at the mistakes. What is she doing in terms of the trap that she's falling into? First of all, she's looking outside of herself, which is mistake number one. Secondly, she is decided that passion is going to be about a thing, a job. That's mistake number two. And third, she's talking about the fact that she feels depleted and stuck, but she's missing the definition of passion, which is energy. And so there's a couple things that I want to say about this. It's so important to understand the difference between being a passionate person, so being passionate and powerful as a human being, versus having a job that expresses that passion about you. So I want you to consider, because a lot of you that are watching right now, you can't afford to quit your job. That's a fact. And so if you sit in your job every day and you dream about a more passionate life, and yet all day long, 9 to 5, you're depleted and you're beating yourself up and you're thinking about that thing and you're trying to find it, you're not going to get anywhere. What I want you first to do is to have a breakthrough about how you're being in that job. I want you to have a breakthrough about how you can become more energized in your day-to-day life so that you as a human being are showing up as a more powerful and passionate person, even at a job that you hate. Because if I can get you to shift and start to create that feeling of energy and passion and enthusiasm and excitement inside of yourself, then we can take that breakthrough and turn it onto looking for a different job that helps express it. Building the business that you've started that is going to have you be more energized. But it starts with you creating it in you. You know, I recently was asked to speak for Carnival Cruises, and I went on this cruise, first time I've ever been on a cruise, and every single morning I would go down to this coffee shop in the lower decks, and there was this guy there who literally, I couldn't believe it. He was the guy making coffee. There'd be this long line, and as he was making coffee, he was entertaining the crowd, and he kept calling it, "Ooh, you want sexy latte?" That's what he's calling it, sexy latte, and joking with everybody. He was so full of energy, and it was contagious, and all he was doing was making coffee for people. Now, does he love making coffee? I have no clue. What I do know is that he's doing a job that a lot of us would hate, that a lot of us would find mundane, but he is bringing passion to the act of doing the job. He has discovered the secret, which is to be energized and enthusiastic as he's doing something, even though it's mundane, even though he makes 200 sexy coffees every morning. Now, the reason why this is so important is because you're not going to evolve your life from a state of feeling dead. You're not going to change your marriage or grow your business or build the next chapter if you wake up every morning and you have to drag yourself through the day. That's why we're going to start with the fundamentals around passion, which are about energy, turning inward, and creating it in small ways. And that's what we're going to talk about next. I want to share with you an extraordinary, powerful tool that I have been using for the last couple years to live a more passion-fueled life, to make incredible changes in my business, my marriage, my relationship to my health, the kind of people that I hang out with. This tool is deadly accurate. It will connect you to your inner wisdom. It will give you the secret to living with greater passion. And when I throw it up on the screen in just a second, you're going to be tempted to think this is the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Do not make this mistake. This is a simple tool. And, you know, whether you know me or not, one of the things you're going to learn about me is I like simple, science-backed stuff that really works. And this is one of my favorite tools that I use all the time. I call it the Passion Gauge. Now, we're going to throw this up on the screen right now, and I want you to look at it. And feel free to sketch it out in your notes. And what you're going to notice immediately is it looks like something familiar, doesn't it? It looks like a fuel gauge in your car. We designed it that way. You see, this is a tool that will help you measure like that in a moment's notice your energy level, because your energy level changes throughout the day. You can go from depleted, which is 0, to meh, which is a quarter tank, to feeling fine, to even feeling good, to ultimately being completely energized and full. And, you know, this is really simple. It is super cool to use. And, you know, don't let the simplicity make you not use it. The fact is, I have been teaching people around the world how they can use this simple passion gauge every single day to not only create the passion that they want in their lives, but more importantly, to help them find the clarity to make the changes that make them feel more energized every single day. And so let me tell you a little bit about how it works. Basically, the way that you use this is throughout your day, I want you to pay attention to whether or not you feel depleted or you feel energized. Now, that feedback that you're getting about how you feel is coming from your inner wisdom, and it's deadly accurate. You know, there are people that you hang out with right now that are probably very easy to hang out with. Maybe you've hung out with them for many years, that I guarantee you, they deplete you. And maybe you struggle with setting boundaries or saying no or wondering why you can never get ahead. Instead of answering those big questions, if you were to start to tune in and really listen to where are the areas of my life where I feel depleted, and what can I do to stop hanging out with people that deplete me? What can I do at work to do less of the things that deplete me? What can I do around health so that I don't eat the things that make me feel depleted or meh? And when you pay attention to this simple little gauge, you will start to get greater clarity about the changes that you need to make. And those are changes that are not coming from outside of you, by the way. Those are changes that are directly coming from your inner wisdom. You see, this is a really important point. You have an incredible asset that nobody else in the world has. You have you. There's only one you, and there's never going to be another one. If you stop and think about the fact that your DNA is unique, your life experiences are unique, your skills are unique, your failures are unique, your situational intelligence is unique, everything that's ever happened to you, good or bad, it's all yours. And that is been hardwired and turned into the inner wisdom that's inside of you, that wisdom that's telling you, ugh, I feel depleted, or wow, I feel really energized when I'm with this person. What if I told you that the secret to living a passionate life was as simple as using this simple gauge every single day to get clear about what's energizing you and what's depleting you, and finding the courage and the confidence to actually do more of the things that energize you and consciously do less of the things that deplete you? That right there, that is the formula for passion. There is no other formula. That's the secret. It took me years to figure out, and then it took me years to figure out how to teach it to people. And that's why I now want to talk to you about something super exciting. Because one of the things that you're going to notice is you're going to leave this training and you're going to now understand the 3 mistakes that you make. You're going to understand the 3 truths or facts about passion that change everything when you start to live this way, that passion is energy, that passion gets created, that passion is inside you. It's not a person, place, or thing. You also now have a gauge, a tool that is deadly accurate that will help you have clarity around passion. It'll help you create it. It's like a guide that's right there with you. Now the question is going to become, do you have the clarity, the courage, and the confidence to do the work to start to listen to it? Do you know how to take these concepts that are grounded in science that I'm teaching to you right now and apply them to your life? You know, a lot of you write to me and you have questions about the fact that change is hard and you struggle with making change stick. Everybody does. And the reason why everybody struggles with making change stick and living a more passionate life is because you're relying on motivation. You think you need to feel motivated. You think you need to find your passion. That is completely the wrong way to go about it. In fact, I want to read to you a question that we recently got from Michelle. So Michelle wrote, how do you keep momentum going? You know, last week I had an awesome week and I was putting myself out there with my direct selling business, Mel, and I ranked up. And then all of a sudden I wake up this week and I'm bummed and I'm tired. And somebody said no, and that made me feel bad. And so now a week later, I wish I still had the momentum I had the week before. How do you keep going? It's something we all struggle with. And that's why I want to teach you the secret to how you keep going. Because the mistake that most of us are making is that we think we need to be motivated in order to change. We think that we need to automatically wake up energized in order to get things done. And the reality about life is there are going to be days where you wake up and you feel depleted. There are going to be days where you got to clean the toilet, where you got to have a crappy conversation with somebody, where you got to draw boundaries. There are going to be days that feel hard. You can't change that. But what I want to teach you is how to never, ever, ever give away your power when life hands you a day that you got to clean toilets. Don't you feel more energized knowing that passion is inside of you, that it's an energy source that you can tap into anytime? And for those of you that use the 5-second journal, you'll recognize where the fuel gauge comes from in our daily planning process that's backed by science. I'm so thrilled that I was able to share not only such a special place to me with you, but also such an important topic and all this research behind it with you. Again, if you have questions, if you're starting to use the fuel gauge and you want to brag about it or connect with me about it, please hit us up on social media. Just make sure to tag us, post a photo, ask a question. That's the best way to connect with us. Now, the final training is so cool. And the reason why it's so cool is because I know that you are probably working really hard. I know that you're putting in your best effort. I know that you want to do a little bit better. And I also know you probably feel a little stuck and a little frustrated in some area of your life. Have you ever wondered, maybe you're looking at it the wrong way? Maybe the problem that you can't seem to fix, the place where you feel really stuck, maybe you're working on the wrong problem. In the next training, I'm going to be taking you to an exclusive coaching session with a person who was incredibly hardworking, but incredibly stuck. And when you see the simple solution, I guarantee you it's going to open up a breakthrough in your life too. I'll see you there.